Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's quick video, I'll show you how to create and manage files and folders using the terminal in RHEL 9. If you're preparing for RHCSA or just starting out with Linux, this will be super helpful. So let's get started. So let's begin with creating files. There are a few ways to do this. The first command that we will be using will be touch. Touch file name and we enter. So this basically gives you a blank file that is going to get created. So the next command that we will be using is called echo. I am learning RHEL. So this file over here, what it does is this command over here, it basically types in what we have done here and creates a file with the content that we have typed in the codes, right? So next way is using the cat command, and then we can type in our file name. So we have typed in the file name. So it opens a blank file for us, and now we can type in anything that it is that we would like to write. So let's write I am learning. And to come out of this and to save this, just press Control D, and we are now back to where we started. So here we go. So these are a few methods in which we have created files. Now, once we have created a file, we also need to see the content that we have created the file, right? Again, there are again a few commands wherein we can see the content. So the first method will be cat, and let's say file2 has some content that is written in it. So let's see what content is there in file2. Oh, I am learning RHEL 9, right? So the content is being shown. So there's another command in which we can see this is basically used for larger files, uh, to read. So we can use the less, and again we can use the file name, and then see, you can see the file name here. Again, you can press the control C to come out of here, Q to quit. So you can read the file using less command, and then if you just want to read the top portion of the file or the last bit of the file, here you have two commands called as just to read the top portion of the file, you have the head command, where we specify with -n, we specify the number of lines that we want to read. Let's say I want to read the first 5 lines of file 2. I'm going to get the first 5 lines, right? And then if I just want to read what is in the bottom end of all of these files, I just use the tail command. Tail, again same -n 5, and then again I give file 2, right? So it's going to give me the last 5 lines of the file, whereas the head command is just going to give me the first 5 lines. So after typing -n, if you specify the number of lines, it's going to give you 5, 10, 15, whatever you want. But by default, if you're just giving head or tail file name, or let's take tail root etc. So in this file, the root etc passwd file, it holds all my user data, the number of users who are there. So by default, it is just going to give me the last 10 lines that is there. So you can count it. So there is just from lib strong management to the last line. So this is just the last 10 lines of file that I have. Same with head. Okay, so it's just going to give me the first 10 lines or the last 10 lines. So that is goes about head. So let's go to, this is about how we can see files, and then now let's head over to how we are going to create directories or folders, right? So the first command that comes to our mind is mkdir. So this is where we can make directories. Simply make directory to create a new folder. Let's say new folder. So it just creates a new folder. We can also have multiple folders embedded inside another folder. So I again use the mkdir command with a -p, which means parent. So let me create this parent, child, and grandchild. Okay. So now, how do I get to know that, oh, is the folder present inside the folder? I can just use my command called tree, and then I give my folder name as parent. And then if I just press enter, you can see there is parent and child and grandchild. There are two directories that have been created and there are no files, right? So that is how we can check how whether our folders have been created or not, right? And how do we move between these folders? Now that we have created these files, if we know how to see these files, we have created the folders. How do we move between files and folders, right? So right now I am at the position called root@localhost. So I also need to find my current position where I am. To find the current position that you are in, so we use the command pwd, which just means the command pwd, which is just means is just going to show me where I am. So I am currently at /root, which is the root home directory of my system over here. So now if I want to change my directory, let's say I want to move into the parent directory, right? So I just use the cd command, which just means change directory to parent, and I enter. So you see the end over here, it states as parent. So I know that I am in the parent directory. And how do I come back out of this? I just use cd, and I can either write /root, or I can also use the double dot, which is more preferable, right? So you just write cd double dot and you come back to your previous directory. And how do we know that what content is there present inside my directory? How do I know that what is present inside the directory? So for this, we are going to use the ls command. Right now we are at our root home directory. So let's see what all do we have in our directory, right? So we have a different number of files and folders here. The file1, file2, file3 that we have created. We also have created the parent folder. So those are visible right now. But if I want to know a little bit more about detail, I can just use the ls-a command. It is going to give me uh, all the files hidden or not hidden, that is present over here. So ls-a is actually going to give me all the files and directories that are present in the folder. It can be hidden as well, all the hidden files as well. But if I want to know each and every detail of whatever is present, I give ls-l to get to know more about all the directories that are shown to me. So here I can see, so there is our anaconda is a file. So wherever we have this letter D, it is called, we can specify it as directories. Where the D field is missing, we know that it is a file, right? So just for basics, here we get to know who is the owner of the file and all of those things. So this is about long list or ll command, right? So now that we have known all of these, sometimes we need to copy and move files, right? So let's say I want to move file1 to my new folder. So how am I going to do that? So I'm going to simply use the cp command. So cp, which is nothing but copy, and I am going to move my file1, and I'm going to specify my folder name, which is new folder. Okay, so now I have moved my file1 or copied my file1 into new folder. So just let us just check if there is something in the new folder. So I give ls and new folder. So see, we have our file1 that is present there. So now going ahead, now that we know how to copy, and how can we rename a file or a folder. So similarly for folders also can be done the same way, right? And then if you want to move it, you just use the mv command. But mv command will let's say I want to move uh, file3 again. I wanted to move it to new, my new folder. So what I'm doing is I'm completely moving file3 from my root home directory to my folder. So again, that is done. And now if I want to rename a file, right? So how am I going to rename files? So basically I again use the mv command to rename the file. I give it as file1, and then give a new name as new file. Okay, so let's check if file1 has been renamed. So let's just give ls command and see, instead of file1 we have new life. So this is how we can add commands. So this is how we can check for, create files, create folders, and read the files and folders that are present, right? So these are the things that we can do. And there's one more thing that we want to do when it comes with uh, file and folder management, right? We want to delete them. Sometimes we create files that we do not want, and we want to delete those files. But this command, we'll have to be extra careful with this, right? So this is called the rm command, or remove command, right? RM command should always be used with very much of caution. So right, we know that new file is an empty file, so we are trying to delete that. So we are going to write new file, and then if we just click enter, and then it's going to ask me yes. It has been removed. So let's check if new file exists. No, my new file has completely been deleted, right? And to delete a folder, so we again use the rm command, but we know that certain folders have different folders inside it, right? So like we have our parent folder which has child and grandchild inside that. So now we'll just be using rm hyphen r to rm hyphen r command to delete whatever is present in the parent folder, right? So now once we are here, it again descend into directory parent. It says yes, yes, and yes. So if we want to delete all of these things, like we don't want to, you know so if you don't want to have so much of, hassle, or we know that we need to get this deleted. Let's see if it exists again. So yes, my parent folder does exist, and let's check if all the other folders that are there in parent exist. Yes, no, there are no parent folders. So what we do is, instead of repeatedly telling my Linux machine to remove them one by one, what we can do is rm hyphen rf, and then we give, and it is going to delete all of my all the files without any uh, without asking me prompts if I have to delete the other folders that are present or other directories present inside the parent directory. Right, so let's check if this parent directory has been deleted. So no, we have deleted the parent directory, but this rm command has to be used with extreme caution because we do not want to delete files that are very critical to the system. So that's it for today's guide. Thank you for joining us. Hope you like this video. Please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you and have a nice day.